Happy Friday. It's the end of February already. Can you believe that, Ruth?
February is the shortest month and the longest month.
I can only hope that we're a little drier and warmer next month.
Yeah.
But also a lot of people see next month as the beginning of the spring market when things start to get a little nicer. People actually want to be walking properties and looking around houses and not freezing and get out of the house a little bit. So we wanted to give you a little bit of an update of what's going on in our local communities and kind of the overall Chicagoland area.
But spring market doesn't care about the calendar.
They do not.
Spring market actually started 2 months ago.
We did talk about that before, but I think that it's just going to take that next step.
Exactly. So this is the start of the traditional spring market.
Correct. All right. So, what is going on? Is that going on?
It is. Yeah. We're like,
it's only going on. Okay. Well,
just go Info Sparks.
Let me try one more time. It's not doing it on my screen, so it's only doing it through here. Are we going to have technical difficulties?
Probably. Yeah.
Awesome. Share screen. All right. Much better this time.
Excellent.
All right. So hopefully, and we'll explain these, pretty quickly because they're really statistics, but I wanted to show that we're really not making this up, that these are actual numbers. We're not trying, because I think sometimes people, look at us as salespeople, especially in a market like this, where it's like, well, you're only, good morning, Lindsay. That you're only doing this, for our benefit. And so I want people to understand that no, when we're giving you advice, when we're telling you it's a seller's market, when we're telling you that, a house that just went on the market, you can't negotiate too much with, that these are the statistics that we're using. And
I agree. And, there are a lot of realtors who think it's always a good time to buy or sell a house. And it is, if you need to move.
Absolutely.
We can find, a reason why it's good, but there are specific markets why one might be better than the other, or we are really telling you this is the time. So we're hitting hard on this sales, because if you need to move and you need to live in another house, then buy one. That's the best reason to buy a house. But if you can find any way to sell a house right now, you're going to make a lot of money. And if it's a house you've been living in, you're going to make tax-free money. So depending on, consult your CPA. But we don't tell people, it's always a great time. We want you to see the numbers behind it and why we're saying what we're saying, and understand that we never know what's coming. This week is a great example of that. And this might not be the truth 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now. So we're telling you, this is what it is right now. If you've been thinking about selling a house, you need to jump on it right now.
Correct. So the first statistic I kind of want to talk about is just the overall average sales price. So from year over year, we're talking year over year. So last January to this January, we had an increase of, generally over the entire Chicagoland area, a 13% increase in price. Whereas in Plano, where it's kind of my home base, is 14 and a half almost. And in Naperville, it's 12. So some places obviously are over, a little bit higher than others. But this is just showing you that even if you kind of thought house prices last year were high, or the year before, because now we're going on a pretty strong 2-year market by now. And it's not, people want to know, well, okay, in the last, and I've said this a ton of times to people about the last 5 recessions. 3 out of the last 5 recessions that we've had, house prices still went up. In 2 of them, they went down. 1 of them was less than 1%, or around 1%. There was one, obviously the last one that we're aware of, which is where house prices really dropped. But they still weren't, we're still looking at 50. So these houses, these prices are just going up. And we're going to keep showing you, because we're going to see other statistics about, even if things, even if the economy, even if inflation, even if the war really end up taking buyers' confidence away, that we're still going to probably be solidly for a while now in a decent market. So,
but
again,
we also don't want sellers to sit back and count on price increases happening forever, because at some point market's correct. So don't read this as, well, I'll sit tight. We're telling you this is the time to sell.
correct. But what I was just saying, it's not going to be overnight. It's
No.
Next week, the houses you're not going to get under contract today and then find out in a month that you overpaid by thousands.
And they absolutely might keep increasing, and they might flatten, and you might be fine for a while. But the adage of buy low, sell high means now is the time to sell.
Correct. So, and now we're at the original list price. So again, we're talking about January 2022, where the MLS, the entire Chicagoland area, the list price of a home. So let's say the list price was $300,000, that it was going for 98.5%. And that's every house there. That is shacks. That is houses that are tear downs. This is everything. In Plano, it is over 100%.
That's
is
unheard of. That is the average.
So, and that's due to supply and demand. People want to move. People want to be buying these houses. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you could just, you have to understand where the current price range is. You can't just name your price in this area. There are some where it seems you can. Some areas of the United States, but
and by the way, this is really where our skill comes in more than anything, because we use comps, we use data, appraisers use it, but on top of that, we have to be able to read the market. We have to know what's going on. Comps right now give us about 25% of the picture.
Yeah.
When we're pricing a house, that is not something an algorithm can handle.
No.
That's not something that anyone who is not up to their elbows in this market every day can figure out. So don't think that you can say, well, my neighbor's house sold for this, so my house is whatever, because chances are
10%.
You're wrong. And wrong right now can mean tens of thousands of dollars. I am looking for my buyers, and I found 2 houses that came on the market today that are seriously underpriced. And I guarantee that is somebody who had a realtor to their house in the beginning of December. They gave them a price and they never looked at it again. And now they're ready to list, and they're going with the price that they gave them 3 months ago. And guess what? It's wrong. It's wrong. And you are losing huge money.
Correct. So, and then we want to talk about market time. Now, this is median. I've been using average because that's kind of correct when you're talking about pricing and percentages and stuff like that. But as far as this goes, the median market time in these areas, again, Plano, 6 days. That is from list to contract. And let's be honest, Ruth, most of the time it's less than that. It's just how long it takes somebody to ratify a contract.
Multiple offers.
Or yes, you go, okay, well, I'm not going to take the first offer. I'm going to see what else comes in. And then you maybe give it 2-3 days. Then you might call highest and best. And then you go back to the first offer, the best offer, highest offer. And
there still might be a counter. There still might be a couple of things to go back and forth on.
And you're
waiting for signatures.
And then you have another day to put it in the MLS too, that it changed. So people could be, they're not signing, not all realtors go and this paperwork signed, they immediately go to the MLS. So it could, it's really hot is what I'm trying to say. Naperville, 9 days. It's 13. So you don't, and that's another reason we talk about having our buyers consultations. We talked last week. I talked last week about buyers consultation and the reason for it. It's because we can't start having a conversation about lenders the moment you see a house you like, after we've seen a house. It's sold. This data is showing you how it's sold already, basically. And then, so again, this is really solid numbers. This is hitting it home. So back to the original close. We're not being lazy when we are saying this is the list price. You can't negotiate. We're not trying to benefit for ourselves when we're like, hey, do you have a decision? Do you have a decision yet? You want to jump on it? We're not being pushy salespeople. We're not trying to make a quick dime. We're trying to, as always, in a good market, in a bad market, slower market, whatever, we're trying to help you with your goals of owning the best house for you. And so when we're telling you this is just to back us up. This is, it's like.
And here's the thing: if it's not your house, don't buy it. If you're not sure about it, don't buy it. But if you are, if you are just wondering if there's something better despite this fitting all of your needs and checking all your boxes, or you're just wondering if you're going to be able to do better on the price, the answer on all of that is no. You need to buy it.
No. You need to be comfortable with what you're paying, of course.
Yeah. But if you're not, as Danielle said, we have to have all those conversations up front.
Correct.
Before you go look at houses, because you need to be ready when you go. And one of the problems we're having in this market is that some buyers are rushing ahead, and maybe their agents are pushing them a little bit. We try really hard not to do that if we see you, questioning. You have to be quick and decisive, but you have to be sure too, because we don't want you going ahead, getting an inspection, being out, $500 or $600, and then saying, you know what, there's no way this space is ever going to work for us. Now we're going to cancel the contract and start all over again.
Cold feet.
That's terrible for everybody. And we're seeing a lot of that happening. So be sure, do all your homework up front, really is what it's about.
Absolutely.
Lots of people want to get out and start looking because that's fun, but that's not a good way to buy a house in this market. And another thing you touched on, Danielle, and I was in a conversation earlier this morning about negotiation, and people will use the term negotiation and talk about somebody being a tough negotiator and not really have any concept of what that means. So you could try your best to be a tough negotiator on the buy side in this market, and you will have a homeless buyer.
Well, I think our purpose in the negotiations these days is different.
That's what I'm getting at. You are not negotiating. You're not negotiating with the seller. You're negotiating against the other buyers.
Correct. Yes, you're trying to get the best terms that the seller will accept.
So a smart negotiator who understands the market, who understands your position of strength and weakness, is where savvy negotiation comes in. Bullying someone into taking a lower price when someone else is offering them more isn't a thing. It's not going to work.
Nope.
So if anyone tells you I can get you a good price in this market, they are lying, because you're not negotiating with the seller. You're negotiating against the other buyers.
Sure. And I just wanted to point out back to that one last time about this market time. Look at how the downturn. I mean, it was 15 days, 25 days, 20, 29 days ish a year ago. It's less time. If you thought things were going hot and heavy last year, the data is showing it's even less. And sometimes it is just because less supply, which we are getting to right now. Month supply.
Ouch.
Again, MLS area, almost 2 months. That means that if no other houses go on the market, in 2 months, everything on the market, land, good properties, bad properties, FHA, every that won't pass FHA, like the fixer uppers, all of it will be gone to 2 months. Plano is less than a month. It is 0.8. That's saying approximately 3 weeks from now, there's going to be no houses for anybody. Plano or Naperville's not much better, just over a month. So 5 weeks. If nothing else but that, that's where the demand is. This is the strongest seller's market I've ever seen.
It's never been close to this that I've ever even heard of.
No, and this is
1 month supply is like,
and I want to
like
explain
mythical.
This is everything. This is not just resale. I'm including this. These statistics have new construction on them as well. So there is in Plano, maybe not as much new construction. I mean, there is a current builder out here, and I think there's more to come. But these are including new builds too. So it's just it's a really crazy. What is it? 3 or 4 months is considered a neutral market.
Yeah, and one of the caveats I always give to the neutral market is it almost doesn't exist. It's a neutral market is on your way from a seller's market to a buyer's market or vice versa. But we usually live just on one side or the other. So there was a long time when we were hearing about a seller's market that just tipped a little bit in the seller's favor. This is an unbelievable seller's market. And another caution I want to give is some people are saying, well, I don't know where I'm going to go. We'll figure that out. We've got alternatives. We talked about in another show. But if you want to wait until there's more on the market, what is that going to do to the price of your house? You're familiar with the law of supply and demand. So you want to wait until you have more competition to sell your house? Or do you want to do it now when there is literally nothing for sale for the people who want to buy your house?
Right. And I mean, I'm telling you, I get at least a weekly basis somebody calling me going, do you have this coming up? Do you have anything coming up in Plano?
From
Do you
other
have anything
agents
up in Lakewood Springs?
Yeah.
And quite honestly, I'm doing those same phone calls
Yes.
for my buyers. I'm calling going, hey, you got anything in Yorkville? Or I got, wherever they're looking, Oswego, Plano. I'm asking other agents too. So this is
So basically we already have a line formed outside your house to buy it. If you call us, we will move those people to your actual sidewalk.
Yes. Yeah, I wish I would have taken a video of the open house I attended on Wednesday. The house got listed that morning or that afternoon. I went with my clients, my buyers' clients, and it was just cars up and down the driveway down the street and around the corner. And I was there 5 minutes before it's opened.
Yeah.
And there are already people in the house and fighting for parking spots. So that's not a guarantee that that's going to be everywhere. I mean, that was a very specific location, a very specific price point that was desirable to people. But these houses are moving. They're moving. So, but yeah, so that's, we just wanted to give you some statistics because again, we can sit there and we can say, oh, it's this and you should do this and you should do that. And again, we want you to trust us, but we want to also back it up. And I'm a numbers person, I'm a statistics person, and this is absolutely where I go.
I like the pretty pictures.
There you go. So this is where I go to. I see it. I see it with my own eyes. I see the numbers. I crunch the numbers. I do it. But then it's kind of nice to get these official numbers here too. And again, next month or two, we'll revisit these and we'll see, where they're heading or where they have come in the next month or two. But, based on the line of buyers I have, based on the line of buyers I know a lot of other agents have, I'm not seeing too much quick switch, So it's a good time to sell. And like we said, we've had, we have ways to help buyers too and not feel desperate. So all right, well, until next week. We are keeping the real in real estate. Did we say we were Danielle Tully and Ruth Sheehan with eXp Realty?
I don't think we did.
Well, we are
It
now.
is under our Tim
So give us a
Sands
call
and
if you have any questions
Thanks, Tim.
about.
Oh, and everybody always talks about my hair on these. So I just thought I'd mention, yes, my hair is actually curly. That's what happens when I don't straighten it. So I don't know why, when that happened, but I have curly hair.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week. Take care.
See ya.
Bye-bye.